James, we have been doing a lot of talking this week and a lot of soul searching on understanding when we use control as a defense mechanism of hiding who we are, and understanding how we can catch that when we're trying to go into controlling, how we can come to asking, why am I feeling the need to control? Why am I feeling the need to protect myself? But it's really coming out of hiding of who we truly are, or who we know we truly are, but we tend to hide it. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, I think you brought two things. I'm trying to compartmentalize the two things you said. One, you talked about hiding. When I think of hiding, putting on mask. Hiding who we are, a fakeness.
Sometimes, yes,
people
go ahead.
pleaser, a fakeness. And then you also brought in an element of control.
Mm-hmm.
Which when I think of hiding, the first thing I think on is putting on a mask. Fakeness. I don't really want you to see who I am. I'm guarding something, or I'm insecure, or I'm people-pleasing would be another way of hiding.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, performance.
Right.
I hide behind performance is another word I would think about when I think about hiding.
Right, and that's really what I'm glad you said that, James, because we're going to go deeper than that, okay? We have spoken so much about, not taking on labels, or not, if someone tells you that you are angry, then, how to not take those on. Mm-hmm. Today, we're going to talk about the hiding in the element of, okay, when someone calls me angry, I'm going to take that on. I'm going to become an angry person because I'm in control. I'm hiding who I truly am. We're really going to be talking about hiding the heart.
So we're talking
I'm talking about hiding my heart because this person I may not feel safe to really unleash who I truly am. And so I'm constantly being berated. I'm constantly being belittled. I'm constantly being called names. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into hiding, meaning I'm going to now protect myself through control, which says, okay, if that's what you want, if you want to call me that, then that's who I'm going to become.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. In some ways, it's like playing into the person's hand.
Yes.
I used to always say that.
But you're very much in control. You believe you're very much in control.
Yes.
That's what we're going to talk about. Yes.
Yes, it's easy to accept those labels. Yeah.
You're not necessarily accepting them.
Well, you're letting them believe. Okay, well, yeah, not accepting, but playing into their hand, playing into the role that they have you.
There you go.
Labeled as.
Yes.
So you're acting out in it.
Yes.
So, and part of that's guarding. For me, I remember at times, for me, it was really easy to be, like you say, if you're labeled angry, or you're. We always use the word ogre. So
mm-hmm.
We always get that from Shrek.
Exactly.
So it's easy to be Shrek in some ways because they don't really know who you are. And it's, again, what you call hiding. So you hide behind their image of you.
Well, it's kind of like, you keep on saying it's easy to be Shrek. It's not easy to be Shrek because when you're called an ogre, it does penetrate you. But what you have this defense mechanism on, because when these people call you ogre, they don't, that they don't want to take the time to get to know you. So you are going to choose to play the role of the ogre and become the ogre, although that's not who you truly are, and that's not who you truly are. But you're going to take that on, and you're going to become the ogre. And actually, Shrek does this really well, okay? When he's in his swamp, he just wants to be alone. He just wants to be left alone. So he's in a swamp, okay? And the town has labeled him as a scary ogre, and they come with the pitchforks and all this. And he comes out and he plays the role. He literally plays the role, and they all go running, and they're all terrified because they're terrified of what they labeled him as, and he plays the role. For Shrek, it's much safer for him to do that than it is for the town people to really see him for the sensitive person that he really has, the sensitive heart. Mm-hmm. And that is what we're talking about, the hiding. When there's a fact that there, and it's really interesting where you talked about the mask. Oftentimes we look at hiding as a mask. We put on a mask. Today we're not going to be talking about hiding as a mask. We're going to be talking about hiding as a control, where you go into assuming whatever label has been put on you. You go into assuming that because you are protecting the heart. Right. Scrooge would be another one of those examples.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things I can attribute to that I've experienced is which I've always struggled with, which is easy for me. I don't know if this is going on the path you're going, Nancy, but it is easy for me to take responsibility for the sin, even if I didn't do it. Does that make sense?
You use the word easy, okay? Let's use the word that you're as actually, okay? Because it's not easy.
The reason why I said it's easy.
It's not easy to take on someone else's sins. It's not easy to constantly be taking the responsibility on yourself. That's not the easy. It's safe. It's safe. It's safer for you to take on the responsibility of others than it is for you to give them their responsibilities, because again, it's a control. It's how you're controlling them, because now you're creating a dependency
you're bringing the control
for absolution. That's what I'm saying. So it's not. It's done. It's a defense mechanism.
I'm using easy. I'm glad you clarified my word. A better word is exactly what you say. I have more control over what happens to me, because I know the consequences. I'm not going to be blindsided.
Exactly.
So if I take responsibility.
So it's safer for me to take the responsibility so I can see what's coming at me.
Yes.
So it's not an easy thing, but it's safer for me to take the responsibility. That's the control. So I can see what's coming at me, and I can take this punishment versus getting caught off guard or being blindsided. When I'm actually allowing my heart to come out, when I'm actually allowing myself to feel that I belong in this situation, I belong, or I am worth, when I'm actually feeling that way, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm going to be blindsided. So it's really, we talk about the hiding of the heart, and we're doing that by control. That's how we're protecting ourselves, is through control.
Yeah, so for instance, let's say I'm in a group of people and there's hotel rooms, correct? And in that group of people, there's, I've always looked at life at how people are classified. So there's the chosen one, based upon, again, in a world performance. So it's easy for me. So let's say you have five hotel rooms. 4 of them, 2 of them are good hotels, good rooms. They have beds and everything. Then you have 2 more that are not as good, but they're still worth sleeping in, right? Then you have the 5th one that's a closet. So that group of people are all going to sleep. What I would do is I would take the closet, because you don't want to be told to go to the closet.
There you go. Because you know very clearly it's safer for you to already accept it.
Yes.
That's your control.
Yes.
Because you know very clearly within this group that you're with that is going to the hotel, you know very clearly that if there is a closet room, that you are expected to take that closet room because they are superior to you.
Right.
So that's exactly what I'm talking about,
And
James.
based on
And
how
so
I view myself, yes.
well, it's based on how you view yourself, but it's also
It's a pecking order.
yes, because you have taken that pecking order on
Yeah.
also to protect yourself, because when much is given, much is expected, correct?
Right.
So the more that you're given, the more it's expected of you. And this group is not safe.
Yes.
This group is not safe, has never been safe.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
have only been. It has been a group where you can be there and you can belong, but you know very clearly you
Based
have
on
never
performance.
based on performance. So therefore, it is not safe.
Yeah.
So you are going to take the closet because you know very clearly, based on the pecking order and the superiority in this group, you are expected to take the closet. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. So you're just going to take the closet. That's your control. Because you're going to, at least you see it coming. You can prepare yourself all day mentally
Definitely.
to be in the closet versus come into the class. And this is what happens. And this is what we're talking about. So you can be in a group where you really believe, okay, yes, you're included. That's what you're told over and over again. But you know you're not, but you are, but they say you are. So what happens in these particular situations is you are sitting at their table, you are sharing wine with them, you are having deep conversations with them, and you are pouring in. Comes time to bed, and so you believe that you have actually earned, this is how performance works, you believe you have earned your right to have one of the finer beds. Oh, I'm sorry, James, we need you to go to the closet.
Yeah.
Now, not only are you disappointed, you are also betrayed. And your heart it actually hits your heart because you had poured into them all day, and you were led to believe that you have done, this is how performance works. You have led to believe that you earned that room, but you never did.
Right. And so what I've learned in my life is I'm not ever going to put myself in a position where you tell me to go to the closet. I'm already going to do it ahead of time.
That's because you're in hiding. You're in hiding, and
I spend a lot of time in hiding.
And when we talk about hiding, we talk about the hiding of the heart, because the truth of it is,
I don't want to get hurt again.
Exactly.
It's guarded.
Yes.
So I learned a lot of things, and we would talk about elements of people pleasing and all that. Mm-hmm. But for me, I made a lot of decisions, and it was amazing how you brought the control piece in.
Yes.
Is I found a way to control by taking the closet.
Yes.
I won't be disappointed.
There you go.
Matter of fact, when I look at that closet, and they have the nice bedroom, and probably the one bedroom is a master suite. It's got a kitchen area. It's got a king size bed. Mm-hmm. Let's really get excited about that. And then there's a living room with a big TV.
Yes.
I've already prepared myself to give up that big TV and all that, and exactly when I'm at the table, I'm visualizing my closet. What can I do in my closet? How great is that? Because again, I'm not seeing what I'm not seeing what I'm not getting. I'm seeing what I have. Well, and I'm adapting. And man, my little closet
actually, what you have done.
Actually, my little closet's better than that big room in my own mind.
And this is why we talk about the control. You took their power totally away from them.
Exactly.
Because what happens in group settings like this here, and the superior comes, there's actually a power element that comes from that.
Oh yeah, you got to compete for that room.
Well, here's
my hiding. Yes.
Well, no.
Okay.
That is, very clearly that is exactly what you have to do. You have to compete for that room.
Yeah.
That's why you pour into them.
And
that's what you do.
And the reason why I know, but you'll never get it because sometimes you can compete for the room. I don't have a problem with that. Good game. But if it's based on that group and you'll never be part of that group, does that make sense? There's nothing you can ever do to get that room.
That's
because it's based on a pecking order.
Exactly where I'm going.
Okay, sorry.
That's what it's based on performance. Yeah. And it's based on performance based on who you are.
Yes.
Based on who they tell you are.
Yes.
So you were never going to, exactly what you did say, you're never going to you're never going to get that master bedroom. You're never going to get that. So what the power is, what their power is, okay, is it's a carrot. They continue to show you this carrot. So you're with this group, you're whining and dining, and you're basically with them. This is the power that they want. This is where you take your control. This is where the control comes. So for them, they already know you're going to have the closet room. That's no matter what you do, no matter how much you pour into them.
Or even they give you the room, you know that you really don't belong and shouldn't be there.
They'll never give you the room.
Okay.
You know very clearly they'll never give you the room. So what happens is, but what they're doing, they're using it as a carrot. If you don't know, this is what we're talking about, the control.
Very good.
If you don't know, you're in a performance way, you never pass anyone. That's the pecking order. That's how it is. But you are led to believe that if you give more, if you do this, if you do that, you too can have that great room. You too can have that great room. The truth is, the person who has that great room will always have that great room, because in this group, that is the aroma this person gives out. They will never go to the closet. Mm-hmm. So where the control comes in is you are already, you know very clearly that you took the power away, because that's the power they like having. Is they like basically it's leading you on. In the dating world, it would be called leading you on. Mm-hmm. This is what happens on a daily basis. Is when you're in a group that you don't feel you believe you have to hide your heart. You feel you have to hide your heart. You know very clearly that you are being led on. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what you experience. Mm-hmm. For all these years, you knew very clearly you were being led on. You're being told, oh, no, you're part of the family, you're part of this, you're part of that. But you knew deep down it was never real. It was never real. So this is the power that they like to assort. Okay, they like to let you believe that you're going to perform all this stuff you do. Then they're going to take you to the room, and then they're going to say, oh, I'm sorry, James, you need to take the closet room. Mm-hmm. Now you're all disappointed and left down, and they see this, but this is where the power comes in on their part. This is what they like. Oh, don't feel bad. Maybe tomorrow you can do this and this and this, and then you might be able to earn that. So you're up and down, mm-hmm. and it's really a gaslighting game. Mm-hmm. It's really a gaslighting game, mm-hmm. and emotional abuse, because you're never going to get that room. You're never going to get it. So that is what I talk about, the power. That is why I talk about being in control and taking that protective mechanism. Mm-hmm. Because what you just did is you took that total out of their hands. They don't get to have the pleasure of seeing you disappointed and seeing you hurt and seeing you understand that you're not part of them yet. They don't get that pleasure, because you took it away. Mm-hmm. You already took that. And again, and here's why it's control. Here's why it's control on our part. That group doesn't affect them, because that's where you belong anyway.
Right.
So that is why it's control on our part. It's not like we're actually sending a message to these people. It's not actually, but that is why it's control, because we are playing the role that they gave us.
Yes.
Because if we play the role that they gave us, they never get to have the pleasure of seeing who we truly are.
Definitely.
That's the hiding we're talking about.
Yes, definitely. And you're right. And we talked about, I was really struggling with when we started this podcast earlier, and you would say the podcast we were going to start with me, you were asking me the question, control is illusion. Mm-hmm. And I really struggle with that.
Yes.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, I didn't like control is illusion. But the more we had conversations, control is an illusion.
It is.
I was living exactly what you just described here. Mm-hmm. I was living an illusion, in the sense that I was in control. Matter of fact, that little closet was really, I didn't want anything else. I even told myself. But I believed I was in control. They can't touch me.
Exactly.
But I'm still in the closet, ain't I?
There you go.
But isn't that amazing? But for me, it was an illusion.
Yes.
They, exactly what you said, they didn't control me.
No.
Matter of fact, they didn't tell me to go to that closet.
No.
I went there on my own accord. And I wanted the closet. I even believed that I want that closet. It's safe. Everybody else can fight with that up there. But I got my closet. Look at me. I'm in control. You're not hurting me.
Exactly.
And so when we were talking back and forth, that control is illusion, I didn't really like that question you asked me. So, James, what do you think? Is control illusion? I didn't want to answer that because I spent a lot of time in illusion. I still didn't want to face it because at the end of the day, I believed, without a shadow of doubt, I was in control.
Exactly.
And in that process, there's decisions that I made through my life that I would not allow people in. I wouldn't tell people what my favorite things were because I don't want to take them away. Again,
You don't want to have them taken away.
Again, so what have I missed out on? Doesn't matter. I didn't need those anyway.
Exactly.
I could live in a van down by the river.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, I still got myself.
But you didn't.
Did I? Didn't I? That's the best big question.
That's the thing.
That's why when you tell me control is illusion, I'm in control, lady.
But you're in control, but how's that working for you? It's not. Because
But in my own mind, it's working well for me.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I talk about control goes into the protection mode. We go into a protective mode, and then we become controlling to protect our hearts so that people don't see who we truly are.
No, you're never going to do that. Why would you? I mean, again, in a controlling mind and what you call hiding, why would you show somebody your heart? You know, that's the mindset of a control illusion. You're not giving up control. And for me and my illusion, I'm not giving up ground. You're not getting a piece of me. At the end of the day.
But when it was all said and done, you realize that they not only did they have a piece of you, they had your soul, they had your kidneys, they had your liver, they had the whole 9 yards. But you, sir, were in control. That's exactly what happens when we keep on hiding.
Exaggerating a little bit there.
I never exaggerate. That's just the truth.
Okay, I just thought I'd deflect a little bit.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
This is a pretty tough subject for me.
Well, I know.
I mean, you
know.
just don't waste any words, do you?
I really don't.
You don't want to just go all the way.
I know you were just being so proud that you were in control. You know, I was in control. Yeah, you were. Yeah. And they were not going to get a piece of me. Oh, nope, they didn't. They didn't get a piece of you. They got pieces of you. Yeah. Ooh, did you hear what I said? Yeah. They didn't just get a piece. They got pieces of you. And the real person who lost was you.
Yeah, and when you would say, we were going to start this podcast, and when you would ask me, we didn't do it on this one, but it was the number of takes we did. So, James, let's talk about control as illusion. And it's like, I really don't want to talk about that. I mean, you can just talk about that really easy. You know, for me, there was a resistance. Because, again, it's easy. I mean, I'm sitting across the table, he took this away from me. Why would I want to own that? I'm not going to own that.
It's embarrassing.
It's extremely embarrassing. Give me a break. I mean, a little cliche statement. How's that working for you?
Exactly.
I mean, that's always a tough question you come back at me at. How's that working for you? And I will tell you.
As you said, you were in the closet. Yeah. I'll teach them.
And my closet was nice. Because so it's working great for me. But how's it really working for me? And you said something earlier. And I'm doing a lot of kidding around right now for a purpose. At that point, you think it's working. Because when you talked about the pieces and stuff, you don't see that. All you see is the illusion of control. Mm-hmm. And so that's why it's a really tough question. Because you don't want to see anything else but the illusion of control. Mm-hmm. But how's it working for you if you really want to talk about the heart piece? If you really want to talk about the consequences? No, they didn't touch you. No, they weren't able to put you in a closet. You did it yourself. Look at me go. How's that working for me?
Exactly.
Right? But here's the piece. How's it really working for your heart? What does your heart say? You're probably, every day you become more lonely and more lose another piece, and you lose opportunities, and it's easy to take the martyr role, the savior complex, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it, yes.
Whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, you're being that martyr, and you're in control by that martyr. But at the end of the day, you're losing a piece of yourself. Not only are you losing a piece of your soul, you're losing opportunities. You're losing when you don't matter for the illusion of control. You really lose at the end of the day. Finally, you lose who you are.
You really do, because you start playing this role so much that pretty soon, as you believe you're in control, what you don't understand is as you're playing the roles that is given to you, at some point in time you become those roles, and you're not going to find it out until your life falls apart. And then where do you go? The group won't be there for you.
No.
They'll look at you from a distance, but they're not going to be there for you, because again, you belong in the closet.
Yeah.
And we're not going to help you.
Because I want to say a statement. I got this.
But that goes with.
I like my I got this.
Well, and you did, and the reason why you had the I got this is because, again, you were constantly going into the closet. So therefore, you're going to make that closet, something royalty or whatever it is, and then you're basically, you've got this. You don't need them. You don't need them. You continue to tell yourself this. Reason why you continue to tell yourself this is because you know very clearly they're never going to be there for you. You're never going to be fitting into them. You're never going to be them. You're never going to be.
No.
So that's why the I got this comes in. But when everything falls apart and you truly need, and they happen to be the closest around you, they're not there for you.
Yeah.
They never were.
No.
They never were. And you are and here's the thing. You're supposed to continue to play the roles.
Yeah.
You're supposed to continue to pick yourself up by your bootstrings and got this.
Yeah.
Whether you can or not doesn't matter. You need to pick yourself up and put yourself together, and I got this, because you're part of us, man. You're part of us. And what does that mean? You are ruining our reputation. That's what that means.
Yep.
It was never about who you are. It was never about getting to know who you are as a person. It was never about you as a person, period. It was about what you could do for them.
Yeah.
How you could make them look and what you could do for them.
Yep.
And you're never going to pass them.
And, and it's not necessarily a particular people group, family, whatever. You can recreate that time and time again if you live in your illusion of control. So it could be this group at one point.
It's going to be everywhere.
You can move to California and you can reproduce the same group. So we're not talking about a group of people.
No, it's not about people. It's about you and control, and how control is an illusion, and how you are hurting yourself by believing you are protecting yourself. You are doing the exact opposite to yourself. It's about you. It's not about them. It is about you and how you're hurting yourself, and how, again, when things get really tough, when your life really gets tough and you need people, they're not going to be there for you. They're not, because you played the role that they gave you.
Yes. And you do it time and time again.
Because
you have this false sense. And now I'm able to say it. I was really fighting with you on this podcast.
Yes, you are.
as you can tell the audience.
Exactly.
Now I can actually say control is illusion. It is a false sense of I don't know what you want to call it from psychology, but it is illusion.
It is a false sense.
You believe your bullshit. Let's just put it right at the end of the day.
Yes. It is a false sense of security.
Yeah. And you bullshit yourself.
You do.
That closet's better. You know what I tell you?
Like I told you.
That closet's better than the honeymoon suite, baby.
Exactly.
And I believe it. And I don't need it. And I can live down by a van down by the river.
And I don't need nobody. I am an island to myself, and I don't need anybody. Because you know what? As long as I don't let anyone in to get to really know me, they can never hurt me again.
Yes. Amen.
And where control comes in illusion is you get hurt over and over and over again. Well, but that's where the bullshitting comes in. Because you tell yourself,
yes, you make that.
Oh, this is where you take the responsibility onto yourself. They didn't mean that.
No. Oh,
they told me I'm an ogre. They didn't mean that.
You start handing out passes.
Exactly. They didn't mean that. I mean, it was me. It was me. Yeah. You know what? She was absolutely right. You know what? I'm going to go tell that person that it was me. It wasn't her. It was me.
Yeah, you hand out passes.
Again, if I see what's coming my way and I take the responsibility, I can never be hurt. I can never be disappointed. Right. I am in control, and it goes the same way. And again, we're talking about business and everything. Oh, yeah. As we are holding on, we are continuing to build this fantasy world of ourselves, and we're making this make-believe things that are happening because nobody is ever going to hurt us again, because it all comes from the fact that we were hurt so much, and we're done being hurt. We are done being hurt. We are done having disappointment after disappointment after disappointment again. We are done. And so you know what? I'm just going to step up, and I'm just going to control. I am the creator of my destiny, and I'm going to control every single thing, and I'm not going to let anybody in. Because nobody is going to disappoint me again. Because you know what? If they disappoint me, I should know better, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's your fault.
It's my fault. Again. We become experts at self-soothing.
Oh, we do.
And bullshitting ourselves and reading people.
Oh, we can read that before it ever comes to hurt me.
Exactly. And we're just like, yes, I mean, this person is just making a little maneuver over here. And we're like, yep, we'll see you later. We'll see you later. Yep. You know what? Call me. Or better yet, have your peeps call my peeps. I like that statement anyways.
I know you do.
Yes. But as we're doing this, we are really hurting ourselves. Because we're continuing to put ourselves in this little bubble. Mm-hmm. And we're continuing to shove ourselves into the closet. And each time we go into the closet, we know very clearly that's not where I belong. And it's not because this place up here, this room up here is amazing. That's not why. Again, too much is given, too much is expected, right? So each time I'm going into the closet, there's another unopened gift that I'm just smashing down. There's another talent that I'm just smashing down. And each time that I basically put myself to an island to myself and I throw people out, I'm not learning from anybody. They're not learning from me. But I'm continuing to close off who I am. I'm continuing to close off my talents. I don't know who I am. And we can go on like this until we really need someone. Yeah. But inside, we're continuing to be very lonely. We can be surrounded. When we are in this, we can be surrounded with we have amazing friend list. We have tremendous amount on social media. We probably have thousands and thousands of friends. Okay. Oh, yeah. We have on speed dial multiple people calling us all the time. We have coffee outings. We have all these outings that we go to.
Performing like you wouldn't believe.
Exactly. I mean, we have besties, and we have besties with besties, and we are around people all the time, but we are the most loneliest inside.
Yeah. Because it's all based on consumerism. Put your right hand in that. It's all based on everybody wants me. It's consumerism.
It's all based on performance. Yeah. Because I know very clearly that as I'm in this world controlling, I know that the person next to me is doing the very same thing. And so I have to watch the cues of that person to make sure that person doesn't tell me what I'm ready to tell that person goodbye. Because I want to be the first one to tell that person goodbye, not that person telling me goodbye, because that ruins my reputation, and I might not have a chance to be with my besties over here. And oh my gosh, how exhausting is that? And at nighttime, I sit there and I toss and I turn and I think of, oh my goodness, what did I say to this person? What did I not say to this person? Should I have not said this? Did I laugh too hard? Did I talk too much? Did I talk too little? What did that person, and what was up with the shoes that person was wearing? Oh, but I could never tell that person. It's exhausting. I'm just exhausted talking about it, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I'm over here. What I'm thinking over here sounds like we're back in junior high.
There you go. Because our hearts are not coming out, therefore our hearts cannot mature. Our hearts can't mature if we are in hiding. And we often talk about the mask, but we're not talking about the mask. No. Because there are those that have the mask, and we talked about those.
But those are symptoms, aren't
But
they?
those are symptoms because again, the mask is the control that those people use.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're talking about the control of the protection of not unleashing the heart.
Exactly. Well, Nancy, do you have anything else to say? Other than control is illusion.
Control is an illusion. And the only damage...
you made really good points here.
Yes, and the only damage it does to a person is to you. It's not about the people. Yeah. And again, exactly what you said, James. We're not talking about a people group. We're not talking about people. We're not going to talk about them. We're going to talk about us. It's about us. Yeah. And it's really about, and if any of these symptoms, if you're listening to this and you're hearing this and any of this describes your life, take a look at yourself and ask yourself, are you hiding?
Yeah, beautiful.
Or are you controlling? Are you controlling? And if you're controlling, what are you trying to hold on to?
Beautiful.
What are you trying to protect? Mm-hmm. Who are you trying to protect? Yeah. Beautiful. Because we were never meant to be we were never meant to be hidden. We were never meant to live in a world. And again, control is an illusion. We have no control over anything. We can discipline. That we can do. Mm-hmm. We can live a disciplined life. But control is an illusion.
Yep. And I really want to add to that, Nancy, one of the things also in clarification. There's something about being grateful for everything we have. Mm-hmm. And I could be grateful for the closet. And there's, gratefulness is part of one of my gifts. One of my greatest things that got me through life. But if it's done for control, and to stay in control, that's where it gets distorted.
And that's so true, and it's so good where you talk about that, James, because we all know that there's the heart is deceitful above all things, and that is so true. And out of the heart comes our motive. And so when we're talking about the motive of taking the closet, okay, if the motive of taking the closet is gratefulness. Mm-hmm. It changes the whole aspect, because the truth of it is you are never going to even be expecting to get that room. Beautiful. And sometimes we take the closet if we're with the group, we take the closet because Beautiful. We look at the other people and we see all the hard work that they have done pouring into others, and we are like, they're the ones who are going to take the closet, and we believe that they deserve to have that because for once in their lives they might be the ones who always take the closet, and for once in their lives they deserve to take what is rightfully theirs. And so there's going to be gratefulness because I'm just grateful to be with this group, and I'm just grateful. Or there could be the fact that I'm just grateful this closet is a stepping stone, but we were never created to stay in the closet.
No.
That's what we're talking about, the control, when we deliberately put ourselves into the closet, because we know very clearly the group we're with, the role has been given that is an implied imperative that we go to the closet, and that is our role. And so we take it out of control. We go to the closet. We were never created to stay in the closet. We were never created to stay in the closet.
Yeah. And I'm glad you really highlighted more of that, Nancy. Orange Rose Services, if this challenged you, gave you questions, something to say, hey, help me understand. James at orangeroseservices.com. Email me, and I would love to encourage you and answer questions, any questions you may have. So have a great day and a great week.